Now you got a telescope to look through. One of the issues with the telescope may be balance. If you loosen this clamp, does the telescope fall one direction or another? This is pretty good, okay? However, if it comes out of balance, you can loosen these knobs here, slide it one way or another, a little bit, tighten it back down. However, the telescope seems pretty well built, that if you put your eyepiece and your finder on it, that generally, as long as you're in the middle, it's going to be pretty balanced. It may look funny, but I recommend you have the finder downward, okay? Why is that? That's because then these control knobs are upward, which is where you want them to be, and so that they're less likely to hit the machinery down here. The other thing is that if the finder is down below, then you're less likely to break it off by having it up here. So now that you got your telescope put together, look at some stuff. Try your different eyepieces out. This clamp allows you to move it up and down, and then tightens it to fix it in position. This clamp allows you to move it back and forth, and then tightens it to hold it in position. This allows slight adjustments back and forth. This allows slight adjustments up and down. This one, you can turn this around and around and around and around, and it'll go, you can make it do a full circle. This only has a limited range. When it gets to, when you've turned it as far as it can go, right there, it doesn't want to go any further. When you reach that point, that's where you have to loosen the clamp, set it back to where it was, set the clamp again, and then you can get the up and down motion. The key to learning how to use your telescope is the key to learning how to play basketball or golf or, you know, a game, okay? Whether it's a game on a computer or whether it's like a game of cards. The way you learn how to do things is you do them, okay? Watching this video will give you a start on how to mess around with the telescope. But the real way you mess around with the telescope, learn how to use the telescope, is to just use the telescope. Remember, never force anything. There's nothing on this that has to be turned hard or bent or forced in any way. The telescope is very nicely designed, and nothing has to be pushed or shoved. If it doesn't go easily, then there's a problem. Take a look at what you're doing, and of course, you can always bring the telescope into class and get help with it. Don't break stuff because you're going to need this telescope. So, when you're finished with the telescope, you need to put it away. What do you need to do? The most delicate part of the telescope is the tube. Make sure you have cap on this end, and take the eyepieces out, put the cap in this end, tighten the little screws. Eyepieces, put their little caps on them. Don't touch glass. All right. One thing you want to make sure you don't ever do is put your fingers on the glass. You don't want to put your fingers in here. You don't want to put your fingers in there. You don't want to put your fingers in there. Or down in there. So, take my eyepieces. Put them in a container. Remove the telescope. Now, I suppose there's a question of should you take this off or not. If you leave it on, it's easier to break it. If you take it off, it's easier to break the screws and the things that hold on here. I'll let you be how you would decide. As for me, I think I'm going to take my luck at making sure I hold on to the screw heads and take the finder off. Be sure to put the screws back on so you don't lose them. Finder, telescope tube. Then there's these here and here. And the stabilizer. That. That's enough. I don't think you need to take the rest of it apart.